Humanity invented two ways to make sense of the world: art and play. While art helps us explore the chaos of real life, play was designed for the exact opposite. We created games to build artificial worlds where, for a brief window of time, the rules apply equally to everyone. That strict adherence to a shared rulebook is the entire reason football exploded into a global phenomenon. It doesn't matter what your social status is, how famous you are, or how much money backs your local club. Inside those white lines, the poorest kid on earth has the exact same tools and constraints as a billionaire. But look at the landscape of the sport today. Youth viewership is quietly shrinking, and after major matches, the reaction from fans has moved beyond standard sports tribalism into a state of persistent global outrage. This intensity signals a collapse of trust. The global audience is realizing that football's foundational promise, the level playing field, is being dismantled to favor the interests of the powerful. This is a chart tracking domestic and global club football titles over the last 20 years. The flat line at the bottom represents 90% of all clubs. The sharp spike at the top shows the wealthiest 1% of teams consolidating almost every major trophy. True underdog stories at the club level have been statistically choked out by financial monopolies for a long time. For a while, international tournaments served as the antidote. When national teams play, everyone shares the same training facilities, the same localized climate, and a neutral host country. The playing field was forcefully leveled. But over recent years, and particularly under the presidency of Gianni Infantino, the barrier protecting that final refuge has broken down. As the international governing body, FIFA is built to protect its member nations equally. Instead, the institution's operational priorities have shifted toward protecting heavyweight federations and highly marketable superstar players. If you are a smaller nation operating inside this ecosystem today, your only path forward is to adapt to a system that actively works against you. You either normalize the bias or you get left behind. You can see this dual justice system clearly in the way grievances are settled. Take the Iranian national team. They faced direct sabotage of their hotel accommodations for entirely political reasons, resulting in zero consequences from the governing body. Or consider the enforcement of the rules on the pitch. We have seen a direct red card entirely reversed and its consequences erased, strictly to appease the political demands of a host nation's president. And when marketability is on the line, the officiating follows suit. Senegal was pushed out of their tournament following a penalty decision that fans across the globe immediately recognized as entirely manufactured and laughable. Now compare those hurdles to the conditions created for a team like England. Because they carry massive market weight, they receive the benefit of the doubt on crucial calls. That buffer gives them the space to engineer the kind of epic, dramatic comebacks that look great on television. When the governing system does not see weaker nations as equals, the result is a dual justice rulebook. It creates a hierarchy where the small are penalized for their errors, while the elite are granted the safety of a second chance. Without the guarantee of equal rules, smaller nations hit a hard, systemic ceiling. Investing decades into developing local youth programs and domestic infrastructure becomes a completely futile effort if the referees and the rulebook are tipped against you before the whistle even blows. So, federations are adjusting their survival mechanisms. Instead of building from within, nations are bypassing local development to field teams made up almost exclusively of European-trained, dual-national diaspora players. This strategy hollows out authentic domestic representation. It shifts the tournament's gravity, rebranding the World Cup as a satellite of the European club system. Which brings us back to why play matters in the first place. When millions of people log online to express their outrage after a heavily biased match, they aren't doing it because they are obsessed with winning at all costs. That global frustration is actually a form of grief. It is a deep nostalgia for a less corrupted version of the sport. Fans mourn the loss of the one place on earth where the rules were genuinely fair, and where any kid playing on a dirt pitch had an equal shot at taking down a giant.